So fun to think. There you go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 211 of the NZXT podcast, the official podcast of the NZXT community. This podcast is recorded live on Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the official NZXT Twitch and is available to stream on demand on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and SoundCloud. My name is Mike, and with me, as always, is Ivan. How are you doing, Ivan?
How you do, baby boo? Episode 211, almost catching up to my IQ points. Can you believe it? That's crazy. Yeah, we were in for a special treat today. We have two very special guests from PNY. We are announcing a spectacular free PC giveaway. So if you are tuned in live right now on twitch.tv/NZXT, type exclamation giveaway in the chat. You will get a link that takes you to the giveaway entry page. There's a bunch of different ways to enter. And there's a very special way to enter if you go to TwitchCon, and we'll let you know all about that later on in the show. So without further ado, let me introduce our two special guests today. They are Derek and Jerome from PNY. How you guys doing?
Great.
Doing good. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, definitely. How are you doing?
We're doing good, man. We were talking a little earlier before we went live about how Derek just flew back from Jersey and talking about how he's sick and all that. But I think we're all doing all right.
We'll make it.
Yes. So before we get into it, why don't you each just introduce yourselves and let everyone know what you do at PNY. We'll start with Derek, since he's the one who's sick.
All right. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Yeah. I mean, first and foremost, I go way back with NZXT before I was even at PNY. Yeah, I'm Derek Ellis. Right now, I'm the Senior Manager of Product and Content Marketing here at PNY. I've been here this January will be 9 years. So do everything content-wise, from video production. We do social media, web pages, events, just like TwitchCon coming up. So pretty much do a little bit of everything. Everything you see content-wise, that's driven through our team. We do all the video, all of that good stuff, product photography, all the creativity, and work alongside here with Jerome as well.
Yeah,
Nice.
exactly. Yeah, my name is Jerome, and I'm the content marketing manager at PNY. Kind of reiterating exactly what Derek said, we have our hands in everything when it comes to kind of the content that comes throughout PNY. So everything from planning and working with events to social media to different videos, scripts, partner activations, ads, everything. We touch many different anything where you see content. That's kind of where we fall.
I have a special place in my heart for companies that have letters as their name, because NZXT, what the heck is NZXT? So I'm going to ask you, what the heck is PNY? What is PNY for those who don't know?
Let's flip the question. What do you think it stands for? Do you know? Drum roll.
It stands for pretty neat. What's a Y word?
Yield?
Close.
Yeah, PNY, Paris, New York. Been here. CO opened it, started it in 1985. Started off as a Flash, company, and now kind of where we're at. We're actually celebrating 40 years of business this year. Not only from Flash, but memory, SSD, GeForce, consumer cards. We also have like our professional division, so it's a whole nother animal within PNY. So we do a lot. We have a lot of solutions, and been a good partner, both on the GeForce and NVIDIA side for the past, near 25 years or more.
Yeah.
So I think before we get into you guys working at PNY, we kind of want to learn a little bit about you guys. So Derek, we'll have you first start, and then Jerome. What did you both start first getting into, like, gaming and tech in general?
Man, as a kid, I go way back. Nintendo, always a classic Nintendo, Mario, Duck Hunt, all that good stuff. Then, going into the consoles, Xbox, and remember I stayed out with my brother-in-law to get an Xbox 360, the good old Halo days. I think everyone knows Halo. Everyone grind Halo. The Halo lobbies were the best. And yeah, it's just around what 2015 started doing PCs and stuff, and entered the PC master race. That's kind of what started this whole journey where I'm at, and that put me along the path of Ivan, NZXT, and then a bunch of other people within the community. So yeah, like I said, I would say I've been a gamer since a kid, but as I got older, just more of that Battlefield, Call of Duty, all that good stuff.
Right. Yeah. No, I love that. And I'm similar to Derek, not in the exact same way, of course. But for me, like, I've been into gaming all my life, like being a kid. And again, Derek said the Nintendo, Super Nintendo was like my console. And then even going into the N64, that was like it for me. But I mean, I was really young, but that was the kind of my start into gaming. And then from there, of course, you grew with starting with consoles, and I feel like that was like the easiest way for people to get into gaming, because consoles, you can just buy it, play the games, and kind of forget about it. You don't really have to worry about upgrading too much, etc. But again, as time went on, and you want to play more graphically intensive games, or just want to be able to play with your friends, especially when cross-platform wasn't as much a thing, that definitely kind of pushed me into that PC hardware side of things, where build my first PC. And I spoke to Derek about it. I built it kind of before I got this job, and from there, I started to understand, okay, these are the parts. This is what a GPU actually does. This is what SSD does, why memory is important, all these different things. And then from there, of course, got a job with PNY, and then took off with Derek and hit the ground running.
I think actually both of you mentioned it. Do you guys remember the specs of your first build? Because I love whenever someone's like, oh, I had a GTX 760. People are like, it goes that low? Like, do you guys remember?
And you know what? I think you just hit it right there. I believe my first one was a GT 770, I believe. Was there a seven? It was
Crazy.
A 700 series. And what's crazy is I just remember walking into a store, building my first PC. My buddy was helping me. And there actually was a PNY card. I bought a PNY card. And that's kind of what started this whole thing too. It just got the GPU, of course, built everything up, and then started doing some modifications to them and all that good stuff. But yeah, I think I honestly don't remember the CPU at that time. Off the top of my head, that's so long ago. But I know the GPU was the GT 700 series. It's pretty wild.
Do you still have that GPU?
Yeah. I don't. I wish I had it. I wish I had it. That was the thing, because we did a lot of community stuff. So once I started like getting established in PC builds and kind of upgrading my hardware, then I was always like, I would just gift them back out to like the community and stuff like that to like help other gamers out that maybe couldn't get the latest GPU, or at least give them an upgrade from integrated graphics or just something. So that's like kind of like that way of giving back. I was doing more and more builds. What about you, Jerome? What was your first GPU?
My first GPU, I was kind of late into the game, I can't lie, but it was a 2060 Super, and funny enough, I still have it, still rocking it, depending on the day, still have it. And Derek still kind of trolls me because I still have
don't put this on live. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because
I need to upgrade it. I'm working on upgrading my PC. That's my thing. It's been my New Year's resolution for a little while, but I'm still working on it. But yeah, 2060 Super was mine. How about you guys?
Oh, I don't even remember. Whatever was in my what was it? I think it was like a 700 series, to be honest. I don't remember the exact model though. Yeah, but I'm an old man in gamer years.
Yeah, I think mine was a power spec PC that I got from, oh god, what's Fry's? Remember when Fry's was still around?
Fry's.
Yeah. Oh my god, it was like my favorite store. I would go there every weekend, and I'd be like, Dad, I want a PC. My dad's like, no, and it took me like months and months before he convinced me to get one. And it was a GTX 760 or something like that, 700 series as well, and an i3 into. I'm like, oh, that thing barely. That thing. I would click the button, and I literally use it as a snack time. So I would walk downstairs, I would grab my snacks and water bottle, come back up, and it would still be loading.
Mm,
Oh, good times.
I feel that.
But you know what's crazy during that time though, like that was like awesome, like i3 or i5, i7, like you're like, man, you have an i7 CPU, whatever, and you're just, yeah, I got an i7, yeah. Like, and here we are, just like all these new generations, just all the new features, and how just like from when I first started to where we're at now is just, it's incredible.
Kids will never know the struggle.
I know, Ivan.
So how long have you guys been working at PNY, and how did you end up working there in the first place? Derek, we'll start with you.
This is gonna go long. I'll keep it short. So yeah, as an intro, I've been this January. I'll be here for 9 years. And pretty much what started here was, you know, I remember I was watching an NZXT live stream. Ivan was on there, and I'm just like, I actually built my first PC. And I'm like, man, I would love to do something like that. And to this day, I still remember Ivan saying, well, if you really want it, you'll work hard enough to get it. And like those words stuck with me. And then that's where I just started building these PCs, posting on social. PNY ended up being like my first sponsor. They sent me at that time 980 Ti's and some memory and SSDs to put into a build. And then I got connected with Ivan and got some cases, is it H440 and a Noctis and all those good cases back in the day. There's some throwbacks. Then yeah, I did a build for PNY for PAX East, modified it, did some cool mods to it. That's before like a lot of these cases now have the inverted GPU. I had to like cut the back, modify it to have the GPU facing out. And then, you know, the rest was history. After that, there's a opening at PNY for, you know, marketing, and I'm like, wow, this is a perfect fit. And then just, you know, everything just pretty much connected at the right time. And yeah, like I said, been here for 9 years now, and again, just pretty cool story, and just kind of cool to be on the podcast with, you know, both of you, but even just NZXT as itself.
Why do I have no recollection of you, Derek? No, I'm kidding.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know who you are. I actually just asked the chat bot here, and AI said to say that. So
no, it's funny because
I was just reading the script.
No, it's funny because I think Derek was actually the very first like content creator slash, I don't know what you want to call them, like just
I don't know what it was called.
I think he was like,
influencer was nothing though. That was like the buzzword back in the day. Yeah,
you were like the first cool PC I ever saw on social media when I first started working at NZXT, where I'm like, dang, like this guy built a really cool PC. I gotta reach out to them and introduce myself to him. And it was I think it was an H440 with 2 GPUs inside of it, and you took these awesome pictures of it, and I messaged you. I was like, hey, can we post on your blog? Like, what else do you need, etc. And yeah, it's been cool, man, seeing you blossom into the D-Rec we know today at PNY. So
yeah, that was yeah, no, thank you. Like I said, actually, it really is stemmed from you, man. Like if I wasn't watching that live stream, and again, it was just like you guys were just kind of like this, just open conversation, talk about gaming, and just at the end of the day, it's like it's a job of like connecting with the community. And that's one thing, like a lot of companies at the time, they're like, oh, you know, I had this cool idea, would you maybe sponsor some parts or help out? And they're just like, who are you? But then just like you said, we kind of just got connected through, at that time, Instagram. You know, at that point too, I remember someone was holding NZXT hostage, the gamer tag, and we helped. We used the community to get that for you guys. That was a funny day.
That was
we asked the community.
Yeah, that was all you too, because so that was, I remember when I first started working here. One of the first things I did was started the Instagram account, and like you said, someone was holding @NZXT username hostage. So our original username was like NZXT _ or NZXT Inc. or no, it was NZXT Corp. I think it was. And then I didn't even tell you to do this. You did this on your own. You messaged me and you said, "Hey man, I'm gonna get you that @NZXT username. I'm gonna start." And you started like this whole like movement on Instagram, and sure enough, Instagram ended up giving us our username. So, and here we are 10 years later with
Yeah.
a million Instagram followers now.
Yeah, it's wild.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Yeah.
That's crazy.
How about you, Jerome? How long have you been at PNY, and how did you end up there?
Yeah. So I've been with the company for about 4 years. I've always had a background in just being creative. I just try and do different things, either outside of gaming and PC culture, whether it's like just playing music or being in that kind of environment, just being creative in general. And I used to work at a recording studio before, but I've always been into, again, gaming, PC culture. And after starting to understand the parts to kind of build my own PC so that way I could kind of play with some friends, I was looking around for different positions, and I know PNY from graphics cards, SD, as well as memory, and it was something that always kind of stuck out to me. So I applied, and it was funny because Derek was my first boss when I was back on kind of like the consumer side. I focused mainly on GeForce at the time, and he kind of brought me on, and he kind of gave me a lot more insight into the tech industry. Again, even in a sense, kind of giving Derek his flowers too, because I didn't know all these different things of hey, I was kind of one of the first people to kind of start helping out when it came to showing off liquid cooled in these different builds, or making customized GPUs and customized builds and all that stuff. That was something that it kind of broadened my eyes and broadened my horizons in different ways too. But yeah, and then again, being creative and being with an entire team for about 4 years, that definitely helped me kind of blossom and understand a lot more about the industry, especially on a technical level, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the most technical person. I am creative, but when the tech specs come, that's something that I still have to kind of learn, and I've learned over in the past. Yeah, that was kind of my journey and kind of to where I'm at right now.
And then
now you're looking like a professional streamer.
I know.
Yeah, I know.
RGB and everything.
I know.
See, Jerome, and it's crazy just kind of piggybacking on that, because I remember when Jerome first started, and it's crazy because again, just coming on the team and just being able to share that experience, and just I just remember the first time, and Jerome and I always joke about this, but we're doing some product shots and stuff, and we had some work to do with the camera, but as you can see, his setup's clean, and just but I was the same way. I remember I can speak for it too. My first couple of photos I used to do my builds, it looked like I was taking it with the potato. Everybody has to start somewhere. And honestly, this whole journey is what pushed me to learn photography and learn just videography and all that good stuff. And yeah, Jerome has surpassed everything with it. It's Jerome makes the man.
Jerome makes Derek look like he's being held hostage or something in the basement.
Yeah.
When you compare the
jail.
I should have changed my flight so I was just in the room so I'd look as cool as him with all those GPUs behind him.
Yeah, just sat next to me. No, but
I was wondering where they were at when I was there. I was like, great, we gotta do some product photography. They're all gone, and now there they are behind them.
Exactly where they're at.
That's funny. So what does an average day look like for the both of you at PNY?
I'll let you
want to go first?
No,
yeah, sure.
You go first, Joe. Yeah.
No problem. Yeah, I mean, an average day, I think actually one of the cool things that I do enjoy about PNY is that, at least specifically in my role, is that not one day looks the same. I don't really feel like I have an average day, because everything changes depending on, what's going on at the time. It kind of is like a roller coaster in certain ways. And we're hey, we're planning for this event. We're prepping assets. We're prepping, campaigns, we're prepping influencer activities, and that may be the mode for either a couple months or a couple weeks, and then it's focused fully on content creation, where it's okay, the goal is to get these 3 products in, to shoot them, to get B-roll, and to produce content. Again, it can be looking working with our teams to plan out different scripts, ideate. Every day kind of feels a little bit different, which I like. So that way it doesn't really feel stagnant. But again, to kind kind of answer your question, it ranges, but again, it can vary from like planning different events, again, working with our team to incorporate different social posts on, social media, shooting photography, planning out ads or different campaigns and funds allocated with that. And yeah, many different things far and in between that. But yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, and just piggyback on that, it's the same, like out of the 9 years, I can't really say like pinpoint like these 2 days have been identical. There's so many products and so many categories and so many different things going on. So it's not like I know on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, these are my things to do, because what you think you're doing on Monday, those are not prioritized. You're going back like, hey,
Yep.
this event's coming up. We need, banners, landing pages. We need to work with partners, and what can we do to attract more people to the booth at these events? And yeah, and then just again, same thing, product photography. So before product launches, which is like a cool part of things, you have like your embargoes with products. Kind of, we get stuff early, get to get some images and some b-roll, so that way we can strategize and plan for launches, which is I think it's like one of the cool things too, just kind of like geek out, like you kind of have that heads up of what's in the pipeline.
Yeah.
And you get to kind of pre-think launch plans and all that good stuff. But yeah, every day is different. It's very content heavy. What can we do to always trying to one up our content, really? Just what outside of a product image, like what else can we do outside the box to take it to the next level?
Yeah.
I guess that also kind of leads into my next questions, is like, what is your favorite thing about working at PNY, and like what was also your favorite project you ever worked on?
Oh,
Good question.
And
I can.
why is it being on this podcast?
Yeah. Number one, already answered it. Do you want to go first, Derek? Or do you want me to?
Either way, it's up to you.
So my favorite project that I've worked on, I think it was an old video, and Derek's gonna laugh at me when I say this. So it was one time when we were planning to do a launch. Specifically, this doesn't necessarily have to do with like GeForce or graphics cards, but it was just a creative project that we were doing, and we were focusing it around like a launch of a USB or something. And we decided to do this random idea of like, oh, let's make it look like, the product's gonna be coming out of a box and it's gonna have this glowing structure to it and all this stuff. But although we thought it out, it was very well thought out and planned. It was just pure creativity, and where we were just kind of freestyling as we went along. We had some people like walking back and forth, closing doors, opening doors. We were just shooting in the room, and we were just, again, just a freestyling the script as we went along with it. And we did like cool, stupid, creative shots, and where we had like a glowing box, and we put like a small little like nan light in there, and we were like shaking it with our hands, and like just being creative and just enjoying that entire experience, and from top to bottom, and shooting to editing to planning to pitching and all of that stuff. So I feel like that's a cool highlight, in where it's not anything like super grandiose in terms of like all these RGB lights and all that. It was just kind of, hey, let's just come up with a cool idea, execute it well, and go from there.
Yeah, and for me, I think like all the modding stuff that I used to do in the beginning on the gaming side was always cool to like do themed builds and all that, and showcase that to the community. But like recently, like I think probably call it maybe the past 2.5, 3 years now, we used to have this graphics room in our building, and now that like a majority of those people are remote, we were able to like, hey, what can we use this room for? And like, hey, let's make this a giant green screen, because kind of going back to the whole content and creativity, it's one thing to always take a photo of a GPU and a build, or a build photo with just a backdrop. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but we did a whole green screen room. So then now that way we're like, all right, we have green screen. How do we take, again, we're always looking to take the content to the next level. And then we're like, Unreal Engine, how do we experiment with that? How does, GeForce GPUs take advantage of all of this? And that pretty much started our whole, PNY virtual studio sets that we create content in. So that way we can be in any scene, we can do whatever we want. And it's on the inside, us recording it's like boring because it's on a green screen and all of this. But then when we start putting stuff in Unreal Engine and changing the graphics and all of this stuff, you see the creativity from the team come to life. And then, put that out on social media and stuff it's awesome.
I must say, like, me personally, that's the coolest thing I've seen you two do. When I've seen that on social, I always think like, man, like how the heck are they doing that? It looks freaking awesome. I love
delete this. They can't delete this. No one clip.
Seriously, it looks cool. How did you guys even come up with that idea in the first place?
So, like our upper management, they're the same way. They're like they want to push the bar. Like again, not saying that product photography like it has its place depending on what you're trying to push out to your community. But anyone can get a GPU, put it on a table, and put like a backdrop or anything like that. So you see sports, Sports Center, ESPN, and like you see how like just using football as an example, but like graphics going across your screen and all of that, it's like it's interactive and it's very engaging. It's not just flat in a photo or a B-roll of a GPU. So again, we have 3 great members on our team above me and Jerome that help with all production and social and everything. And yeah, just collectively get together as a team. Like, all right, if we get a green screen, like what hardware, what lighting, what do we need, what software, like what do we need to do? And then we pretty much just roll that up to management. Hey, you want to take the content to the next level? We need this. And they're like, okay, let's make it happen. And here we are. So we can put GPUs in any environment, and kind of like the whole theme for us with RGB on the GPUs is like this kind of, going to call it cyberpunk RGB, bright colors in the studio. We do our stand-ups for like intros and outros of videos in there. So yeah, it's a whole nother avenue of creativity. And it's just like record on a green screen and put yourself in a virtual environment and call it what it is. You can be anything you want. I keep pressing the team to make us like this whole Avengers scene. Like I want to be Iron Man. It hasn't happened yet because we haven't had time. Right. But one day we'll have extra time to work on that project.
Just make sure you clear that by legal so you don't get sued by Disney.
I know. Yeah, exactly.
That part.
That part too.
Yeah. And also to Derek's point, I think that one thing that I kind of like about this position specifically again is that like we're allowed to be creative in like a holistic point, and where it's like we're doing again like the small stand-ups where it's just set on a phone or camera and just talk about something. We're doing the product photography again. We're doing the 3D modeling on our team. We're doing those bigger projects kind of like in that virtual studio, kind of like Derek was talking to. So we're able to do so many different things and be pretty well-rounded.
How do you think that virtual set has helped your content strategy?
I think it really helped to expand what we can do. I think that there's so many different avenues now that we have the virtual studio that we can just take and expand on because of the fact that, again, we can be in different portions of the virtual events, the virtual studio. So say for example, it's built out in like it basically looks like an entire building in a way, and where you can like go up the stairs, you can be shot in front of a table, you can be shot in like like kind of like a lounge room in front of a TV. There's different scenes within that entire virtual studio, so we can be placed in all those different ways and truly be able to think of cool concepts into where, say for example, if we wanted to do a longer form video and have Derek talking about why RGB is such a great highlight on our GPU, and he's downstairs, and then the camera pans over to me, and I don't know, sitting in like a room full of
GPUs behind you,
a room full of GPUs behind me, talking about something else. Like it allows us that flexibility and creativity. But Derek, do you want to also add to that?
Yeah, I think just adding to it, like I think the thought process behind it too was like brand identity. Um, I don't know if a lot of people were, I'm not saying we're the first ones to ever do it. Like, that's been done in that, but I think from maybe like call it consumer gaming channel, it's something a little different. And that way, if someone sees it on YouTube or X or Instagram, whatever, they see it and they're like, oh, that's PNY. That's their, call it niche or thing within, virtual sets and stuff. So we tend to mix it up to where it's in virtual sets, not virtual sets. So in that way, it's just not, all the content's not the same every single video, and just kind of keep things fresh.
Love that. I actually I know there's some people that want to be able to work in the gaming and tech industry and do stuff like what you guys do. So do you guys have any advice for people that want to get into like your line of work? Like, is there something that they should, acquire? Is there some skills they should try working on? Because I know there's a lot of people out there that would love to be where you guys are right now.
Yeah, I think from a marketing, it goes back again, like Ivan's point. It's like, first off, if you want something so bad, you're going to work hard. You're going to figure out what you got to do. Especially nowadays, there's so much free content out there on YouTube to help you, learn new skills. And that, honestly, that's how I did. Like, I didn't go to school for photography or videography. I just started building PCs. I'm like, how do I make my images look better and stand out? But from marketing, I just think, knowing social platforms and the voices that are on there, honing in skills for photography and content creation, if that's the route you want to go. And I think it is just find it really at the end of the day, just like find what makes you happy and just go all in on that. Like like they always say, like it won't feel like work if you like really enjoy or however, it's like, it won't feel like a job. Like you're just, it's your thing and that's what you want to do. So I hope that helps a little bit. I think that's what I say. Like for me, my thing was I loved PC builds. I did live streaming at one point. I liked gaming. So I started kind of just piecing everything together. And one day I just made an Instagram account, started posting builds and tagging companies, and sure enough, this company was like, oh, this is pretty cool. Kind of like I would say, is like, hey, you can build some cool stuff. Maybe there's potential to do a collaboration. At that time, back in the day, that was like nothing. They were like, wait, you want free parts? Yeah, no, not happening. Not saying NZXT, but like in general, that was like a new thing. Like now I guess it's mainstream. It's like everyone I'm sure who's watching and listening, they have like a favorite, call it influencer or tech channel they go to watch, to learn and educate themselves.
Yeah. And also to add on to that, I think that there's definitely a couple different aspects that I feel like are also important to kind of, I guess, bring up, because I think that if you want to kind of get to these positions, or I guess any position, I feel like a lot of it is about like being consistent. That's a huge thing, because even say, for example, if you want to do your own thing, just that consistency of like, hey, I'm starting, but continuing going on with it is truly important, because if you're starting and then stopping, you're not really going to continue to see that growth. So definitely just try and be as consistent as possible. And then I feel like the general one is just being willing to learn, because even in my position, like I did not come in the gate knowing photography. I mean, Derek and I joked about when I was taking pictures and I had the shaky hands, like they were looking super blurry. But I learned like
light,
yeah, I know. I was shooting into the light, like what am I doing? It's crazy. So yeah, and it is one of those things where it's just like, okay, I don't know it, but I'm gonna take some time out to learn it. And again, that can apply to any situation, whether it's photography, being creative, learning about just specs and hardware, or about your specific niche. Because again, this doesn't necessarily have to tie into just PNY or NZXT or tech. It's kind of like a lifelong rule of just like being willing to learn. So
That's good advice, Mike. I hope you took notes. I'm gonna quiz you on that later after the show.
I believe you got this.
Yes. All right, so let's talk about why you guys are here in the first place, and that's to talk about TwitchCon, because we both NZXT and PNY teamed up for TwitchCon. So if you're at TwitchCon next weekend, head on over to booth number 2800 and you can check out what we got going on. So why don't you tell the folks what is going on at TwitchCon?
Yeah, so or yeah, you know what, Jerome, you got it.
Sure.
It's up to you.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, again, as Ivan said, we're going to be at booth 2800. We have a lot of cool things happening at TwitchCon this year. So, first and foremost, again, we're super glad to be able to work with NZXT and incorporate them into what we're doing at the booth. So we're going to be doing a PC giveaway. So that's going to be a huge thing in where we're incorporating NZXT parts as well as what we have in terms of GPUs, SSD, and DRAM. And we're going to be also doing a live build. So that's going to be tying in with Robitech. So he's going to be at our booth. He was actually at our PAX East booth as well. So we had a great activation with him. So again, we're kind of like running it back in a fun way where he's going to be doing a live build there. So definitely stop by, check it out. And then we're also going to be showing off a couple different demos. So we're going to be showing off gameplay of Borderlands 4 as well as Hell Is Us, both featuring NVIDIA backed titles. So they're going to have a lot of NVIDIA technology behind it, as well as we're going to be doing like a really cool thing that I'm really excited about is like it's something that I didn't know about until a couple of months ago when we were starting to plan, is that there's like an AI streamer assistant through Streamlabs. So that's going to be kind of a really cool activation where people can sit down, play Fortnite, and while they're playing, they can interact with this streamer assistant. So, if you're the type of person to sometimes like be quiet as you're streaming, it'll like jump in and give you something to kind of talk off of, and it'll kind of keep that engaging conversation going. If you're playing Fortnite, you can be like, hey, where should I land? And it'll tell you based off of, maybe some of the previous games that you were playing, what's a good spot, what's not a good spot, and you can incorporate and talk to it as if it's kind of that the AI assistant. So I feel like that's a really cool thing that we're going to be doing as well. So yeah, definitely stop by and check it out.
I would have AI build for me while playing Fortnite. That's the only reason I can't play that game.
Yeah, exactly. Can't do the building.
Yeah, when they actually did the no build, that's like, all right, I'll try this game out, because like yeah. Coming off with other FPS shooters, it's like I can't build. I'll just get schooled by the kids in the lobby.
Seriously, man. So you guys are both heading to TwitchCon. Do you have any guilty pleasures when you travel for an event like this?
Derek, you want to take this one? Mr. Donut Man.
Donut Man.
There you go, man. I've been doing good, man. I've been doing good. Y'all pressured me in the office the other day. But yeah, I think that's the first thing we do too, is like whenever we're going to an event, like us and the team will get together, just kind of like, what are some good spots to go try out for food. And I love coffee, so I always try to find like a good coffee shop to try out in the area, so it's something new. Because not every time it's like traveling out. This is going to be in San Diego, which it's beautiful there. I think the last one I was there was, was that 2020? Because I think the first, what's crazy is think about this, the first one I ever went to was 2017, 2018, and that's when we teamed up with NZXT as well. We did like 7 builds in the booth and everything to come up in game. But yeah, I think definitely just coffee and food.
Yeah,
got to explore after hours.
I do recommend the burritos in San Diego. There's like a bunch of good burrito spots down there. It's a big controversy thing, because I live here in LA, and there's this big rivalry between LA and San Diego in terms of who has the best Mexican food. I think LA has the best street tacos, but San Diego.
Oh, you just started a battle.
I always hear about that.
But San Diego for sure has the best burritos for some reason. I don't know what they put in there. So find a burrito, you can't go wrong.
We'll take your word for it.
Sounds good.
Besides the burritos, is there anything that you're looking forward to at TwitchCon this year? Any streamers you want to meet? Any workshops you want to attend or anything like that?
I'm more so interested in I feel like the artist alley was really cool. So I went to TwitchCon, was it last year? I feel like
Yep.
days are just blurring together. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
no.
last year. And we had G's 2 cents at our booth, really cool activation. But yeah, at TwitchCon last year, just getting a chance to walk around and see what was going on. It's really cool to see, again, being a creative person, see what people come up with, the cool art and design that they do, as well as just to see other partners and just see what like the tech landscape is looking like when it specifically comes to the streamers, because again, that's a streamer focused event. So it's really cool being able to talk and see some of maybe your favorite streamers or favorite influencers there as well.
Nice. How about you, Derek?
I'm just there for the swag, just get swag. It's
Not
funny,
wrong.
but like that is, yeah, that thing. Everyone's there for the swag. I'm sorry.
Oh, go for it.
No, I'm sorry. Actually, no, my monitor just actually shut off this right now. That's why I paused there for a second. I thought I lost power. That scared me. We're still here.
you're
Right. Oh man, that scared me.
It ain't an NZXT
Now,
podcast
out here,
without
we
some,
always see it.
without some little technical
Well,
issues.
we always do have like these power surges and just, but yeah, I think it's just really connecting with the community, because it's one thing like actually us posting and people commenting, engaging with us, but like to actually have people from the community go to your booth and like, oh, you're actually Jerome, you're Derek, and you're the team, like face to face, you're real people, and have like real conversations with the community is always a plus in my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of talked a little bit about that as like, streaming is such a, we're streaming to hundreds of people right now, and we have thousands of people that listen and can view it afterwards, but like what is like the main thing about like these in-person events that's like special to you?
Yeah. I think that, again, being able to have that face to face, in where, say for example, in the past, we used to do a live stream even on our own side. It was I think it was like Accelerate Fridays or something like that. We used to do it like every Friday, and we used to be able to interact with people, and it was really cool because again, you're building up that community, you're talking to the frequent listeners and checking with them, and asking about, hey, what are you gonna eat this weekend? What are you doing this? And you're knowing them, you're getting a chance to know them, but doing it in person is on a different scale, and where you're seeing and feeding off energy. And it's really important to be able to have someone, come to the booth and you're welcoming them in and you're showing them the different products. You're having casual conversations, still having conversation about, hey, what are you guys going to eat? Any good places to eat spots? It's really that genuine connection that I feel like you miss out sometimes when you're just like live streaming or just, focus on the online aspect of it.
Yeah, I think the same thing too. Just having that community engagement, but also too, like I said, I've been here for 9 years. I remember my first event was 2017, PAX East, and at that time we just launched the 1080 Ti, and it's just kind of like going back, thinking of that GPU and that experience, and people are like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. But then now, like we're up in the 50, we're 50 series now, and like, again, connecting with them, but then kind of connecting the dots, like old hardware versus new hardware, how AI is in these GPUs now and enhancing our overall gaming experience, and 4K maxed out and all of these new features that just enhance the gameplay, to kind of see them like, wait, I'm getting 200 plus FPS fully maxed out and all this stuff. It's like, it's fun to see them like actually react live, and then also like capture that for content and all that good stuff.
Do you guys have any funny or like heartwarming stories at any of these conventions or anything like that, or these in-person events?
Funny. I mean, I do have a story. It was actually the PAX East. So Jerome and I had a bet of who, like, so I guess that's what people don't see neither. Jerome knows where I'm gonna go with this, but PAX East, it's like all the attendees only get to see the glamour. Like it's all set up, go and do your thing. We're there, it's chaos setting up, and then we're taking things down and packing, getting ready to go. And we're waiting for one of our crates to come out. I'm like, you know what, Jerome? I can beat you in a race. And we had bets going, like just joking around, different people from different booths and company. And like,
Yeah.
I got Jerome, and some are like, no, I got Derek, because Jerome's much younger than me. But like, hey, I'm older, but I still got some speed in me, and I'll give it to Jerome. He beat me by a foot.
By a foot is crazy.
But the funny thing is, though, I told, like, after I was running, I'm like, man, I feel like I pulled something, but I really didn't pay attention to it. And then I get home, and then my wife's like, what's wrong with your leg? I'm like, what do you mean? And I'm like pulling my hamstring, like I have this massive bruise on the back of my leg just from racing Jerome. Like, I guess it's like one of those things called behind the scenes, but
yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
Barely.
I'm not gonna lie, by saying barely and by a foot is very generous. It was a good distance.
We'll get the replay. I'm telling you.
We'll get the replay at TwitchCon. So if you guys want, just pull up to the booth. We'll have races there. But yeah, kind of to Derek's point, I feel like it's this cool random things, and where you're just, I don't know, talking with influencers sometimes, or not influencers, sorry, just the community members, and they're pulling up to the booth and they're telling you about, their first game on their PC, and, you're sitting there having a conversation with them, and you're like locked in with them, and, they keep going and you keep going, and you just like build a short moment of like that connection. I feel like that's really cool. And even like, as you said, like the heartwarming moments, I think it was at PAX East last year as well, or no, I think it was this year. It was funny. We were giving out like yo-yos. We were doing all these like different yo-yo tricks, and we were just like, messing around with the community, saying, oh, hey, can you do a cool yo-yo trick? We'll record you and all this stuff. And we're able to, create this cool interaction and post it on social media and create these connections. And I remember this one little girl, she's probably like, I don't know, 3 years old, super small. And one of our team members, Bianca, she's like, oh, hey, can you do a yo-yo? And you do a yo-yo trick? And she's like, oh yeah. And she like dropped it on the ground and just sat there and just like dragging it around. But it was like, it's like a cute, like heartwarming moment, because then, they give them a little hug and, hey, thank you for stopping by the booth. And it's just like these cool moments in where you're really engaging with the community. And again, this is built in like a tech sphere. We're all, focused on, hey, this is PAX East, it's focused on gaming, all this stuff, but at the same time, we're, all human. So I think that like touching on that same that note is really cool.
Love that story. I love a good yo-yo story.
Yeah.
Yo-yos, it's crazy. I haven't had a yo-yo since I was like back in middle school, and just like we did it, and I'm telling you, it's like everyone went crazy. Yeah, it brought back my childhood memories, just doing all the tricks, and we started having little competitions in the booth with the community. It was funny.
That's the thing. I think if Derek, even though Derek didn't beat me in the race, one thing he is definitely good at is yo-yoing. He was doing like the cat's cradle, and he was doing all the round the world and all these tricks. It was crazy.
I almost took GPUs out, but
well, I don't know if y'all are gonna have yo-yos at TwitchCon, but I do know you will have a secret word for people trying to win this PC, right? So if you're at TwitchCon, head on over to booth number 2800. You can tap Jerome's shoulder or whisper in Derek's ear, one or the other. We'll accept both methods. And you can just ask them like, hey, what's the secret word? They'll give you the secret word. And you can plug that into the Gleam form, and you get it's 1,000 or 500 bonus entries.
I think it's 500.
Double check. 500 bonus entries into the giveaway. And then you guys will increase your chances at winning. But let's pull up the page so people can take a look at the PC builds we got going on at the booth and what makes them so special. All right, let's see. I haven't played this Hell game. Is it good?
Yes.
You've played it?
I have not played, but I've been watching a lot of videos on it, and I'm tempted to buy it.
Really? I've seen like some small clips, but again, at TwitchCon will kind of be the first time getting a chance to play it. But I heard really good things about it so far.
It looks cool. I just haven't played it.
Same here.
But anyway, here's a breakdown of the specs of the builds that are going to be there. When Derek and Jerome hit me up a few months ago and they're like, "Hey man, like, can we have some computer parts?" I thought, you know what? Let's send them our latest and greatest. So they're going to have not only their latest and greatest parts, but they're going to have our latest and greatest parts, and you guys can check these out in person. They're all the builds are going to be in our brand new H9 Flow RGB Plus cases. These are the ones that have the new single frame fans with RGB lighting and all that, so they look really nice. They both have the new NZXT N7 Z890 motherboards. You're going to see some GeForce RTX 5080s and 5090 GPUs, some fancy PNY RGB RAM as well in there. So these builds are going to be nice. Mike, if you scroll down a tad, you can actually see what the giveaway PC looks like there. There it goes. That when I first saw this PC, I was like, man, I want this on my own desk there. But this, yeah. And I'm excited too that Robitech's going to build the PC as well. Robitech is probably, and I'm not just saying this because he's there, he's probably my favorite tech tuber, to be honest. And I love his content. I think his builds come out amazing.
He's
cool also dude. He is a really cool dude and very down to earth. Mike actually, he dressed up as Santa Claus and walked around Seattle with Robitech last year, giving away free awesome stuff. So, cool dude.
Great guy.
I agree. It is. It's like just laid back, chill, goes through specs, interacts, tells really good dad jokes. So
and very personable too. I remember we were having a conversation about like random food one time in a restaurant at Twitch, PAX East, and he was like jumping in on a debate for like it's a New Jersey debate whether it's like Taylor ham or pork roll, because like North Jersey, so it's Taylor ham. This is how he says
it
pork
went on
roll
for 40 minutes
even
at the
though
table.
We were going back and forth. It was crazy, but even though it is Taylor ham, just so everyone knows. He was like joining in on that conversation. So very cool, kind dude.
Mike knows all about that because he went to Syracuse.
Oh
so
god, yeah.
Oh really?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I had literally, it was so funny, in our freshman year dorm, one side was all New York people and the other side was like me and then a bunch of Jersey people. So we heard, I am not lying, we've heard this argument of the pork roll Taylor ham thing at least once a week. And it's not like no, it's this. It would be like people will be yelling and like screaming. And I'm like, bagels too. New York bagels too.
Yes,
I know
bagels.
I'm just at the table trying to, eat my fry, and then I'm like, wait, what's going on here? What's all the commotion about? Yeah, that is a very serious conversation.
It's finding words. It's finding words.
Yeah,
it is.
I was a bystander, just letting them. I'm like, kind of, this is new. Learning something new.
That's more controversial than my taco burrito statement earlier. Mike, can you click on the GPU link there so people can see which GPU is inside this giveaway PC? All right. So why don't you guys tell us about this graphics card?
So this here on this one, it's going to be, this is the PNY GeForce RTX 5070. So again, that's the newest 50 series of the family GPUs. Everybody, I'm sure you might know, and if you didn't know, multi-frame generation. So utilizes the latest and greatest AI enhancements to enhance your gameplay, to where, for that specific feature, you have your standard one frame, and then AI is actually creating 3 frames behind it. So then that way your gameplay is smoother, faster. Then you also get, more FPS, which is, pretty cool. And yeah, it's one of our still, I would call it small form factor, with the air quotes there, just because it's a dual slot thing. But when you start getting your 5080s and 5090s, if you haven't seen one in person, it's kind of like going back to the days of 10 series to now where we're at with 40 and 50 series, 2, 3, sometimes, or some cases 4 slots It's pretty wild. But yeah, like I said, it's the latest and greatest GPU. Again, whoever wins this PC, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little jealous. I wish I can enter, but I haven't said I couldn't. So yeah, like one lucky winner is gonna be able to get a nice little upgrade if they don't have the 50 series, and it'll be great.
Yeah, and there's also going to be some fancy schmancy PNY memory and SSDs in there too. So
yeah,
sorry, I was gonna say anyone can win, and you don't have to be at TwitchCon to win. But if you are at TwitchCon, head on over to booth number 2800. Ask for the secret word, and you'll increase your chances. But yeah, this PC is really nice.
Whisper in Jerome's ear, tap my shoulder.
Yeah.
Yes.
Listen.
What do you guys think this would be a good PC for people who want to do more beyond gaming, like creating content or everything? Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, you have the latest CUDA cores, GDDR7 memory, RT cores, tensor cores, like all the latest and greatest. So that person who wants to maybe get into like streaming as well, definitely a good streaming PC and all that good stuff.
And it only works with Borderlands 4 and Hell Is Us though. So that's the only downside.
You can do nothing else. No, I was gonna say I think that especially because of the Blackwell has like the 9th gen encoders and decoders too. So allowing you to be able to stream and create a little bit more too when it comes to video editing, content creation all across the board. You can do a lot with it. So yeah, definitely adding on to Derek's point.
And it's just crazy to think back in the day too, like the stream, like you'd have to have this dual PC setup, and we're at this day and age where now it's like you can get away with one PC. Your CPU can run the stream, all your resources are going to CPU, and then your GPU is doing all your graphics intense workloads and gaming, and you can still have a good stream.
Yeah.
What sort of performance do you guys think people can expect on these two games here with these specs?
I think you should go to the NZXT site and they'll show you the performance.
Off the top of my head.
No, like just on top of your head. Yeah, I'm like, I wish I can give you a pinpoint, but I mean, I guess it depends on too what people, what series they're coming from, or if you don't have 50 series, you're gonna see a gain in performance. I wouldn't say like 5-10% or anything like that, but again, just with all of the latest advancements in the hardware, and again just the actual AI features that are on the Blackwell architecture, I mean that in itself, I feel like you'd be able to throw just about any game at it and you're good to go.
Yeah, I feel like max settings won't be a problem. Don't quote me on that though. So I do want to, since you guys have said the word AI a little bit, we were talking about these GPUs, with AI being basically like, at an all-time high in terms of how advanced it is. Where do you see AI being integrated into gaming or hardware in the future?
Future-wise, it's just crazy. I feel like we're at this place too, like going back to what Jerome was saying at this demo, like if you're on site, we got to see a demo the other day in real time with this AI assistant, and just thinking of me back in my days just streaming, some people, and kind of like going back to Jerome too, like consistency, like if you're starting off stream and only got 1 or 2 people watching, you get discouraged, you may want to quit, to where like this avatar is literally like a person there that you can speak to, just where should I drop, where's the best loot, hey, my system seems to be lagging a little bit, check my system settings, optimize it for this game. Like it's like your personal assistant now, and it's another way to engage. at least for me, going back, like before this whole AI assistant thing, if I was just scrolling through the For You page or whatever on Twitch, and I seen like this little avatar on the lower right screen, like, wait, what is this? And then just it's appealing and engaging, and you actually see this streamer talking to it. I feel like this is kind of like that first step. Future, I just think AI in a whole, just from a gaming, and I mean, you hear about all these other big infrastructures that are doing inferencing and all this other stuff. You can go to like Stable Diffusion. You can go to a software, type in a scene or a quick script of like, show me Jerome in a space shuttle, and it'll show you Jerome in the space shuttle. So it's like that cool content ways. And even I think in too, just from the streaming perspective, at that stream's done, you're going to load stuff up to YouTube. You can tell AI, hey, help me with my YouTube thumbnail, get something catchy, like prompt it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I just think it's only going to advance more and more and just become, I know some people are like get nervous or scared, like, oh, it's going to take jobs or it's going to take this, but I think it's more of like a tool to like optimize whatever workflow, you're in. For someone that is in the, call it more content creator space, if you're doing a podcast like this and you can just do a AI drop in and take out all the ums, and right on the bat it's like done in seconds, versus you chopping up a whole timeline for 3 hours taking out all the ums. So it's just, I think it's just going to be more of a tool, both gaming, creation, and everything in between.
Yeah. And also, even again, adding on to, I know you mentioned like the multi-frame generation with DLSS4. I feel like that's a huge factor in where, you're generating these multiple frames or 3 extra frames per, your single one. And I feel like that through AI is something that, even aside from it being a tool, it truly helps to kind of transform what you get out of it, or what you get out of your gaming experience. And I feel like AI in these ways can transform your experience from like, if you're running, I don't know, if you have a pretty old PC and, it takes a long time to like, and your games are stuttering, or it just doesn't feel smooth or responsive and this and that. I feel like it can transform your experience into a positive one in these kinds of ways. So I feel like in that framing, it's definitely very helpful.
And actually, you made me think more too of this, Jerome. I think they're like, I don't know if anyone ever heard the term like digital humans or anything like that, but I know there's like Project Ace in a way, to where now, say if you're playing Cyberpunk, we load the game and we're just playing Cyberpunk normal, going in through the city, doing whatever. But now with AI and just all these features that NVIDIA is putting on these cards and like pretty much integrating these games, it's like, instead of you playing the story and you go up to, I think the scene was like in one of the sushi bars in Cyberpunk, you did like click A to say this or click B, like you're using your microphone, like, hey, what's the special for today? And it's interacting with you in real time based off of what you're asking the game. So it's just adding more interaction versus just playing a regular storyline in a game, which I think is kind of mind-blowing in itself, because it's like, how does this game really know how to react to my question in real time that fast? And that's where it's like we're past that starting point, but just I'm really excited to see, I guess, where games are going to be in the next, say, 5 to 10 years. It's just going to be, it's going to be crazy.
I guess that kind of leads into my next thing, is like, what do you guys see in the next 5 to 10 years of how like PNY or the PC industry as a whole, like, what do you guys see in the next 5 to 10 years? That'll be like one of the biggest challenges that we're going to have to kind of, hurdle over.
That's a good question. I think for me, I think it's just like, how do we continuously keep on pushing performance in these GPUs? I mean, 50 series in itself, Blackwell architecture, every architecture keeps advancing. Yeah, just like how do we keep on one-upping each generation?
Yeah.
And what does that look like for gaming, content creation, streaming? Yeah, like, it's just, I don't know. I'm just trying to think like how to even put that in perspective, because AI, I feel like, has evolved over the year, the past 2 years, so fast. So to try to like really think of where it can be 10 years from now.
Yeah.
then let's say the last thing is like, it's not even just gaming, but like think about if you go to, I'm just making this up, like a McDonald's, like there's kiosks now where you actually talk to a screen and say, hey, I want A, B, and C. You're not like plugging in an order, actually dealing with someone if it's super busy. So like AI, that's being pushed by graphics cards. So it's not only so much you have to go talk to someone and place the order and wait in line. You just go up to these kiosks and I want a number 1, a number 2, and whatever, and give me the burrito that Ivan suggests, and it just they'll start making it for you.
Eating cheese, always beating cheese.
Yeah, I think it's
all right.
I think it's interesting, especially from the tech side of AI when it comes to the game industry, of like enhancing the speed at which you can create. Because say even in terms of like game development, I know that's a pretty, I mean, games are being developed every day, especially for consumers. So it's, say for example, if I don't know, I'm using a random game, Grand Theft Auto, like GTA 6, it's going to take 20 years to produce, and this, that, and the third, and there's so much that goes into it. Sometimes there's ways to be able to, use AI to speed up rendering processes, or, whether it's a cutscene, or make graphically change or enhance the graphics on a specific section or a portion using neural what is it called? Neural shaders. Thank you. I feel like there's so many different ways in where you can use it as a tool to enhance what you're currently already doing, and I feel like that will shorten the time of execution. So I think that can truly help define what the 5-10 years can look like, because it may speed up the amount of games. I mean, there's so much to play, there's new games being dropped every day, and if of course game developers can take advantage of that and take advantage of these use cases through AI, again, does not say have to be just AI, but through AI can help to speed up and ramp up that process so you can get more higher quality games at a faster rate. Again, just speaking in that game industry specifically.
And on that note, how does a company like PNY balance talking about all those technical science terms, that these things can do to support artists in the creative process and things like that? Because it could get kind of overwhelming and confusing. Like, how do you guys balance that?
So let's say, just to start there, is just, I guess it's one thing to, and again, that's where content's always evolving and different. Like, we can just say, hey, this is the latest 5090 and it has this much memory, CUDA cores and Blackwell architecture and all of that. But now take it a step further, it's like, one, we can use this virtual studio that we created to make it more engaging. And it's like, hey, you, the gamer, take your streams to the next level. And it's not just like spec dumping in a video, but it's like, it has these new encode and decode engines that help with streaming. This is how it actually helps, like giving more, meat and substance to what you're talking about, versus just saying, oh, this has X amount of this and X amount of that, but like really bring the performance to it. Like gaming, everyone hears multi-frame generation. We can say, oh, multi-frame generation is the best thing ever. It's so cool. Make sure you get a PNY GPU, but like that doesn't tell you why you need it and how it actually helps. So I think we're trying to do, what we are doing is just trying to tell more of like a story through content and how it actually is beneficial, versus just trying to say, hey, go buy our product, but like, here's our product and this is how it can solve streaming, how it can solve gaming, and just different workflows, and depending on how you're going to use the actual graphics card and your PC.
Yeah. I think, oh no, so I was gonna say, I think that also having that balance of the two different types of people within the company help, in the sense in where like Derek's, again, he's a very technical person, at least a lot more technical than me when it comes to be able to like speak and understand these certain terms. And you have like the people who kind of like me in a way, like although first working for PNY, but like I enjoy games. I'm a gamer, I'm a creative, and you have that balance of like a person who knows a lot about the specs and a person who knows like a lot about like kind of the story in a way. So being able to tie that to and have sit down conversations and blend and find that middle ground of like, okay, how can we tell the specs in the best story, and again meet in that that central point. I feel like that's really important too. And then also kind of like tying into understanding and getting a better sense of the community too, because that's something that we're still, of course, trying to grow. Every company, of course, is trying to grow their community and listen and understand, you know, where you can improve. And I think that that's something that, again, we continuously as a company try and work towards when it's, you know, understanding what's going on out there and how we can tell a better story, especially for today's day and age.
I love that you said that, because the last question I want to ask before we get into my favorite part of the show here is, you know, when it comes to getting that feedback from the community, because I know you guys are very in tune with them, you know, how do you use that feedback to influence the decisions you two make at PNY?
I have a good example here.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's say just because like I said, 9 years at PNY, I remember when we first started. Ivan, you probably remember too, like the 10 series, our color was black and red, which is a really popular build theme back in the day. But from the outside in, before I even started working at PNY, it's like, I'm doing this custom build. Like I want to modify it. I want it to blend. Like if I'm doing a blue and yellow build, I don't want black and red because it's going to clash, and then, you know, modify it and everything like that. So I think that was one big thing for us, because we took that feedback from the community. Like, I'm not going to buy this because it's black and red. It clashes with my theme. So it's like, here's direct feedback from the community. Not saying we have to go right up to RGB, but like, what's our next step to like then like get and keep building ourselves up? So we went from black and red to where it was just like monochromatic, just black and just like a stainless steel in a way, just a steel cooler. And that was well received, and it was great to hear, because then even from the community, like, okay, I can get behind this. This was like neutral, or go with different builds. But now we're like, hey, PNY, where's my RGB? Everyone, we want RGB. So now it's like getting into the 40, 50 series. I think even 30 series when we introduced it. Yeah, 30 series and above, we have RGB options and non-RGB options, because we know from the community, not everybody cares about the lighting effects and all that. They just want a GPU to blend in and what I like to call like a stealth build. So I think for me, seeing that progression over the last 9 years, it's been great. And I guess like taking those comments and literally screenshotting them and taking them down and put them in a PowerPoint and hey, exec team, and rolling up to management, like this is the best feedback that we can possibly have, because it's coming from our community. Like, what can we possibly do to start taking baby steps into the right, you know, direction? And I feel like over the years we've really honed in on that. I feel like we have that identity. And again, just knowing the community, not everybody wants unicorn puke in their build. So, you know, give them both options.
Love that. All right, so now it's time for my favorite part of the show, the part that Derek and Jerome have been waiting for. And that is where Mike is just going to ask you a bunch of random questions for you to answer. So, Mike, go ahead and ask.
All right, well, we'll ease it in. You know, we'll do some simple things, and then we'll start getting into my type of questions. So we'll start with Derek, then Jerome, to make it easier.
Okay.
What is your guys'?
I think you should go Jerome first. Jerome,
let's see. What is your favorite game or first game of your childhood, and then your favorite game of your childhood, specifically childhood?
Okay. It is. I think for me, this is gonna go back to Nintendo. Mario was, I feel like, the OG thing. I loved Mario, and then I think the whole Duck Hunt was, as corny as that sounds, but like I just remember having my big old TV. It's not like we used to have now, these nice OLED, super paper thin. This thing weighs like 1,000,000 pounds, and wait, I can plug in this little toy thing and like actually like it interact, and it's like the first interaction I felt like you know, duck hunting in itself. So I still say that I loved Mario.
I love that. My first game, it wasn't mine because it was my brother's, because I had the older brother, so I could just steal his stuff, because why get your own when you can steal from your brother? But it kind of that same way with the Super Nintendo. So we had a Super Nintendo, and playing like Mario was like the greatest thing, Super Mario. At least in terms of the first. And then I know as I got a little bit older, I think I was still kind of young, like I don't know, 5 or whatever. But when the N64 came out, that was it for me. That was like my first like entrance truly into like gaming. And my first game was Super Smash Bros. Because it came kind of bundled. So the first ever Super Smash Bros. N64, that was it. That was my gaming favorite childhood moment. I used to play that with my sister and brother, and cousins would come over, and it was a fun time.
And
I'll
then
back you up on that. You're definitely good at that game. He was a
Yeah.
like there was a game lounge at one of the shows, and he's up here is like, put me on the sticks, and then Jerome's just like
tag me in.
owning people in this little like game lounge. Was funny.
and then I guess now I'll go to Jerome, then Derek. What is the
Okay.
games that you're playing as of now, and then what is your favorite of all time?
Ooh, that's crazy. Okay, so game that I'm playing right now, I went back and I started playing. I've been kind of catching up on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Remake. So I wasn't super into Final Fantasy kind of growing up, because we were like Nintendo 64, and that was mainly like PS2 era. Did get one eventually, but that was a different era. So I never got a chance to kind of go back to it. But I recently I beat the first Final Fantasy VII Remake. Amazing, gorgeous game. And even though, of course, a little bit older, but you gotta dig in the backlog sometimes. And then I'm like currently like halfway through-ish on the Rebirth. So that is kind of like what I'm currently playing right now. In between time of, work, life, and all this other stuff, you gotta make some time for gaming when you can. But yeah, that's what I'm currently playing. Of all time is kind of tough, because I break into two categories, like a nostalgia play, and then like straight on like what I feel is the greatest game I've ever played, like point blank period. So my point blank period one, I feel like it's kind of a newer pick, but I would say Elden Ring. That was peak for me, because it took me from like being a casual gamer, and where like I was still playing RPGs and this, that, and third. I was playing random stuff, but the sense of accomplishment that you get from a game like that, where it's like you're just thrown into a world, you don't know what's going on, you pick up a stick and just start hitting things and you die automatically, and it's just like rinse and repeat till you get better and better and better. That's and then the aspect of like the world building and how in depth you can go, and literally every corner is completely different. You can walk to the right, see something completely different than the left. It felt truly immersive. So I feel like that was one of the games that I feel like there's so much I could low-key rant on about it, but I'm not gonna, because there's a time frame to this. Yeah, there's so much to that game that I feel like is peak in like 10 out of 10, like what is topping it. So that's my pick for that. A nostalgia play, this one I would say it's a little known game, random. It's called Tatsunoko versus Capcom. It's a fighting game on the Wii, I think. Crazy random game, but it was absolutely fire. I put in so many different hours into it as a little youngin at the time, and I was just playing it. It was just kind of like a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 game type of game, where it's just like a 2v2 fighter. But yeah, that's kind of like my personal sleeper pick for nostalgia.
That game's awesome.
You played it?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Oh, what? Okay,
Yeah.
my man.
I think Ivan's played like a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I love that. Same.
Oh man, for me, Mine has to be Connect 4 free online. No. No.
Ranked Connect 4 goes hard.
Classic.
I will. I do love Connect 4. But I know for me, Jerome, like watching him play Elden Ring, I remember he was starting to play. He's trying. I'll be honest. I've never been like an open world gamer. I've always just been FPS shooter games. And I just remember him saying, Derek, like, go spend this money and get Elden Ring is the best thing. And I watched him on stream and I'm seeing him rage a little bit. I'm like, Jerome, this isn't convincing me. I don't know about this. Although you do rage a little bit in, you know, an FPS shooter. But maybe for me, I think mine's Battlefield. I love Battlefield. I think my favorite of all time is Battlefield 3. I feel like that was the one. I mean, going back, even think it was it Battlefield 1942? That was a fun one to play, but 3 just has a special place. And as of like right now, gaming, I wish I had more time to game. I don't game as much as I used to. Just again, kids and family and work and everything. But I think my upcoming game, and I want to build a PC, is for Battlefield 6.
That just released
Today.
Yeah, oh man, I need to build like. We need to go. I gotta go get parts and build something real quick. But yeah, I don't know. I love Battlefield. That's been my go-to game. Just give me a sniper and that's it. Game over.
I'm with you on Battlefield 3. Battlefield 3 and Bad Company 2 were like, I don't think I have more hours in a game than those. I would just stay as a medic and I'm just reviving people. And that's all I do. All I do in the entire game.
Especially the vehicles too. It's just like, even then, like people get mad at me and like try to shoot me down, my own teammates, because I'm just in a jet flying around, just taking everything in. Like I'm that guy. I'm like, let me just get one jet, please. But yeah, Battlefield is definitely that's the go-to.
I love to ask this actually question. What is the most surprising thing you've learned about your guys' community?
Surprising thing you learned.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's interesting because I think I can.
No,
that's
don't give me
hilarious.
crickets yet. No, hold on, because there's so
Crickets,
much
that's
time.
funny.
All right, hold on. But no,
Do you want me to go?
Well, I mean, I could start. Like, I don't think we're long here, but I think I'll let you talk for 40 minutes after me. No,
I'm a yapper.
I know, it's funny. Man, I think any company would agree, but it is just like the feedback. It's like one of those things to where it's like they're like, hey, this is great, or hey, like this needs to be improved or make these changes, kind of like going back to the whole color scheme and all of that. Yeah, and just I think just the creativity, like Jerome and I, when we used to do streams every Friday, we met one person there, and he did some design work. You know what I'm talking about, Jerome, and put in some posters and all this stuff. Yeah, so I don't know what you have to add to that, but
yeah,
that's a good question.
I was gonna say that again because I learned more about the PC community as I grew in PNY as opposed to knowing about it and then kind of hopping into it. For me, it was understanding how truly, number one, how diehard they are when it comes to every single aspect of like, hey, you know, this video actually, that one thing has 48 CUDA cores instead of this, and like their spec, they know every single thing. So you have to be on top of your stuff when it comes to that. But I think also something that like I also kind of find fascinating in a way is how much the community can affect the companies in ways in where they're able to understand and learn the feedback based off of what the community is saying, and sometimes, you know, make adjustments and changes. Because I'm even thinking in terms of like, you know, you have standard communities in everything. For me, I'm very in tune with like music and artists and stuff like that. So sometimes if an artist drops an album and the community, whether they love it or hate it, they'll rant on it, but you still have like the diehard fans, and that's definitely still a thing. But people can complain all they want sometimes, and an artist may still just drop whatever they feel like dropping because it's just the artist. And also in ways that's somewhat similar in the context of like a company, but at the same time within the PC industry, it's a good thing, and where sometimes it's very good to be vocal, and I feel like we're able to take that and learn from the community as well. So that's something that I learned.
This is actually a question that kind of like you think it's like a very simple one, but you kind of learn a lot about the person. Is what would your guys' last meal be?
Ooh, you want to go first, Derek? Or
Last meal.
You learned a lot about a person and their childhood and what they like off this question.
Because what I'm about to say, I know it's kind of like that whole burrito beef out there, man. Like I don't want to start. So I think, oh, man. Go, Jerome. I'll let you go first on this one.
Okay, I can go. I would say, so I have a couple different last meals, even though it doesn't make any sense.
No, you can do like a bunch of things, yeah.
Yeah, because it could be like a whole.
So you can do like a breakfast, lunch, dinner, and all that. Okay.
Yeah, like a whole day of last meals, or you can do like a 3-course meal. You know what I'm saying? So for me though, if I had to pick like one, because I don't want to ramble on for 20 days, if I'd have to pick one, my family's Jamaican, so usually it would probably be like a really good jerk chicken with like classic rice and peas. There's like some greens called like callaloo. There's like either like some fried dumpling or ackee and saltfish. It's like a lot of like Jamaican food, but it's cooked with love and it's cooked with seasoning and it's fire. It's nice and spicy, but you get the sweetness. There's like some molasses and like the jerk seasoning. I kind of like to cook too, so like there's so much to it. There's thyme, rosemary, this, that, and third. I'm not gonna rant on about it, but I feel like that would probably be my last final meal.
And Jerome is a really mean cook. Random thing here. I just remember we were like we're filling out our content schedule. We're looking at like national hashtag days and stuff. And we had like, there was like chocolate chip cookie day. And this is like when Jerome was fresh on scene here, and he went home and like baked these cookies, got some B-roll and some images and stuff and put them out on social. I was like, that's awesome. Like going above and beyond here, which was cool. But for me, there's so many things, but I think where I would land at is I love barbecue. I barbecue myself. And just there's nothing better when a brisket is cooked the right way, and some pulled pork, like some street tacos with pulled pork or something like just. Yes. And then you got your mac and cheese and smoked baked beans and all that good stuff. I think I would tailor all around that with some like banana pudding or something in there. And it's just,
come on.
I'm down south, so we actually my neighborhood we have like a kind of funny, like a few people here that will like team up and smoke something over the weekend and share together. And I think brisket and just something like that. Brisket, mac and cheese.
Oh my god.
Smoked baked beans. Ooh. Some bread pudding. I didn't eat lunch yet.
Yeah, now I'm hungry. I'm like, hey, no, I want food.
I know. Like, I've been going since 3 a.m. Some good old biscuits and gravy to start the day off too. Just
Southern food hits different.
Yeah, it'd be that Southern barbecue.
I'm hungry. Okay. I guess going along with the food train, so you have an option. You can choose one or the other. You can do $2 for every French fry you eat, or $1 for every push-up you
do. $2 for every French fry you eat, or $1 for every push-up you do.
I'm doing push-ups.
I would do French fry though.
Why?
Wait, because
let's do some push-ups. I don't want these. I want to do some push-ups and get in shape.
But am I understanding this right though? Because so I'm basically receiving $2 if I eat one French fry, but I receive $1 if I do a push-up.
Yes. So basically,
Yeah,
someone actually
that's good.
broke down how much is in like a McDonald's fry. On average, like a small
Exactly.
fry is around like
Uh-oh.
20 to 25, and then for like a large fry, it's like 30 to 50 or so.
Are you talking
So
about calories?
no, just per
It's
per
not
fry,
all about
per
the
fry
money. I'm telling you,
So
it's not all
you
about
say,
the
wait,
money.
you're saying
You're gonna
one
be over
French
here eating
fry,
for
one
$2.
French fry has 25 calories. Is that what you're saying?
No, one like small fry has 25 fries in it. So you'll make like $50 for a small fry, or you
okay.
can do the push up, which is healthier, but you probably will make less money. So it's what
Gotcha.
you guys think, which one's a trade off.
So we're going by like a small bag of fries where you get $2 per fry, or
push-ups. I want to be in shape.
$1 for
Yeah.
each push-up.
Or I mean, if you really want to, you can make the only thing you eat for the rest of your life just French fries, and you're making bank. You can totally do that. Up to
That's
you.
what I'm thinking. That's literally what I'm thinking, because I'm wondering if there's like a time
How long
limit
are you
to
gonna
this.
live
No,
from
no
eating
time
French
limit.
fries? Like you're just constantly eating French fries and nothing else.
No, you just eat
That's
French fries and you make bank. You make bank.
I don't know, man.
By eating French fries, but
I
you can still
would-
do push-ups too.
I would just
'Cause
do the
not
push-up
excluding
while
something
eating
you
the French
can't do
fries.
push-ups.
No, you choose one or the other. You choose one or the other.
Yeah,
So you can never do a
that's
push-up
where
the
my
rest
brain
of
was
your
going.
life.
Yeah, I would just eat fries and do push-ups at the same time. But yeah, no.
I know.
I-
My brain is thinking of loopholes. I'm trying to think of, I could do squats, I could do lunges, I could do this to get in
You
shape.
already
and still eat
found
fries.
the last meal loophole with your 3-course meal thing, man.
I know. My brain is just full of loopholes.
That's funny.
Oh, it's great.
But yeah, I'd probably do French fries.
All right.
Push-ups, I like it.
Mr. Push-ups.
I'm gonna go for the push-up healthier version. It forces me
Thank
to
you.
be healthier, even
That's
though
fine.
I could down probably 300
That's what I'm
fries every
saying.
day
I
for the
know,
rest of
French
my
fries are
life.
so good, especially if we get the right French fries. Like, the one in Boston, remember that, Jerome?
Oh my
those-
gosh, the greatest French fries of all time.
It was like called 800. Was it like 849? It was like some weird thing, or no, 723 fries. Like, do we actually get
723 fries.
723 fries? We're like, no, but this is about to be the best fry you ever had.
The
Ooh, going
greatest.
back, if I had those fries, I'm still doing push-ups. But yeah,
I'm telling you, those are the greatest fries I've ever had in my entire life.
they were.
I wish I could plug them, but if I remember
No.
it all.
If you guys
Post on
remember it, send it to us, because now I'm interested, because I have a friend that lives in
100%.
Boston.
I will. Yeah, if you're in
Yes.
Boston at PAX East, like, you must go to this
Yes.
place. I don't even care. Don't even get lobster or any of that crazy stuff. Just tell me you want a limited fries, and you will be happy.
Yeah, it was like a lobster place. Like they had like
Ooh.
lobster rolls.
Oh,
yeah.
And it was lobster rolls was amazing. They were amazing. But what took the cake was the French fries. That was it was crazy.
so
Making
good.
me hungry.
Yeah, I know. Now I'm hungry.
I'm very
I
hungry.
know.
I guess for the final one, and we're gonna keep on. I'll just do this one because it's the food related one. That's what I've had a lot of arguments on, and Ivan remembers this because I used to do this almost every podcast, which was, is a hot dog a sandwich?
I hear about this one.
What do you think, Ivan?
Yeah, because
go.
the definition of a sandwich is what? It's like a piece of bread with something in it, right? At least that's how I define it.
Yeah.
But wouldn't that be a sub? Because a sub, like, I guess a sandwich, you have a top and a bottom disconnected, to where your hot dog is similar to a sub in a way. Now all subs are cut in half. You're kind of just making a little groove to put your meat, lettuce, and all that good stuff in there. I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I feel like it's an open face sandwich. I feel like it's technically an open face sandwich because
But-
you can kind of like fold it. You can still have an open
Yeah.
face sandwich and just like slightly fold it. That doesn't
So
mean
that-
it's a hot dog.
That is the philosophical debate right there, is the fact that the bun is on a hinge, so you could
But
kind
it's
of
still
interpret
connected,
it.
though.
That's what I mean. You can interpret it both ways.
Is
I
it
personally
more
just
like a
think
taco?
if it's a piece of bread with meat
Yeah.
or whatever in it, then yeah, it's a sandwich. But
I think the deciding factor is it's the meat is the hot dog. That is what makes it the hot dog. So regardless of what bread and bun, like that's the bread that's a side story. The hot dog, the glizzy, that is what makes it the hot dog. You know what I'm saying?
But do you ever go out and just eat a hot dog by itself without bread?
No, but it's still
Exactly.
a hot
So you need
dog.
that bread
You
to
need
have
it.
a true hot dog. You need the bread, the hot
But
dog.
that doesn't. But that
Especially
doesn't
off
take
the
away.
grill. You get your ketchup, mustard, some jalapenos on there, all that. Yeah,
But that doesn't take away from it being a hot dog, though.
I know.
You know what I'm
It's still a
saying?
hot
Like
dog.
a hot dog is still a hot dog. Whether you have it in a bread, in a bun, to the side, just grilled up. You know, you're saying you're grilling up
That's
hot
true.
dogs. That you're not grilling up the bread with it. So
I actually do. I actually
the
put
hot
the bun.
dog.
You got to butter it up and get the
Oh,
bun a little toasty. You got to. That's the only way to do it.
I don't know. I feel like. I mean, I agree with that. But yeah, I feel like the hot dog. I feel like the hot
Yeah.
dog itself is the hot dog. So without the bread, it's still a hot dog. But with the bread, technically, it makes it a sandwich. In my eyes.
Oh, I like that actually.
You know what I'm saying?
I like that actually.
So it turns it into a sandwich. It's like a
Mm.
hot dog sandwich, but because sandwich is too repetitive, you just call it a hot dog.
Someone
Instead of like a BLT sandwich.
there's a video. Oh, I forgot what show it was, but these guys are doing like a hot dog eating contest, and you actually brought up like literally the reason why everyone starts yelling during the show is because during the hot dog eating, like
Everyone's yelling
they're
back
like,
around.
what constitute as the hot
Oh,
dog? Like, can I just have
yeah.
the actual just the wiener itself and be done, or
Yeah.
do I have to have it with the thing? And then that's when
Yeah.
it just all blew up. Everyone was mad. Everyone
Hell
was
breaks
just,
loose.
ah.
That's funny. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah.
I'm on the hot dog as a sandwich though, because like if you technically rip the bun, then it becomes
Mhm.
two pieces. And I'm like, okay, that's a sandwich at that point.
Exactly.
It's technically by definition a sandwich. However, it is not socially acceptable to call it a sandwich. But we
Mhm.
can all agree.
I dare you to
cuisines
walk
are
into somewhere and
different,
say, I
so-
will take a hot dog sandwich, or I just I want to stay with a hot dog. Actually, no, we're gonna. There we go. There's a content idea. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do it. We're gonna find a hot dog place, and Jerome's gonna go in there and say, I want a hot dog sandwich, and see
Ooh.
what they.
Oh.
Maybe
Hey.
we actually go figure it out live.
We could do it, but I just want how to say sandwich. But because sandwich is implied. That's why I feel like the bread adds it. The bread implies sandwich. Same
So
thing.
if
how
you
you
go
would say
order a
BLT
hot dog,
sandwich.
do you think it's say, hey, I want a hot dog? They're just gonna bring the hot dog, or they're gonna bring the hot dog with the bun now? If you just go in or openly and say, hey, if you go in a hot dog joint and you say, I want a hot dog, they're not just gonna put a hot dog on a plate for you. They're gonna give you a hot dog in the bun because it's part of it. You can't have a hot dog without a bun.
You can, but it depends on where
No,
you go.
you
Because
can.
if-
Well, no, you go somewhere and
getting
you ask for that
sausage-
hot dog, you know there's gonna be
Do you
bread
can, wait, hold on,
involved,
time.
bro.
Do you consider sausage links hot dogs?
Oh man.
Do you consider
Yeah, but
sausage links hot dogs?
Would you put sausage link on bread?
You can.
I do all the time.
Really? Oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
It's a
actually,
sandwich.
yeah,
Yeah.
you could, yeah. Oh,
So depending
God.
on where you go,
Oh boy.
you can go to a barbecue
Here's the whole stream.
restaurant.
Let's keep going for 3 hours.
This is why I love this
Restaurant.
question.
We'll
It's like
figure-
my
we got until
favorite.
midnight to figure this out, okay?
I got time.
This is why I love this question,
I think,
because every single time we've done it, everyone goes no, and then someone goes well, blah, and it just goes.
You know what you should do? You should just ask AI. Ask like Chat GPT. I'm
But
curious what it would say. That'd be funny. What is
But
AI?
at the end of the
think?
day, it's not gonna know that without the bun. No, I'm kidding.
don't
Without the bun,
know.
it's not considered a hot dog. But yeah, that's how I see it.
I like I this is my favorite question because it gets everyone heated and I love it.
Love it.
Let's see. I think that is it for my rapid fire. So I'm going to go through a couple announcements and then I'll hand it over to you two to talk about, any fun stuff you have coming up. So I'll go through these real quickly. We just launched our new Kraken Core and Gold Core PSUs. So we got some new coolers and some new power supplies. So you can take a look at !new stuff in chat or take a look at NZXT.com. We also have some Prime stuff going on right now. You can get up to $500 off Prime PCs, like a player 1, 2, 3 Prime PCs. So take a look at Prime if you want to take a look at that. We also have a big Amazon sale going on right now. So you could look at our Amazon page. It's nzxt.co/Amazon. Everything's basically on sale. We got coolers, cases, peripherals, everything you could think of. It's on sale. Go take a look at that. If you need some new stuff, go for it. We are doing an Intel PC giveaway going on right now, basically because of our NZXT Intel Club. we basically can give away free stuff to you guys. So take a look at nzxt.co/club or !club in chat. And basically you sign up, participate in the community, and you earn Poochie points, which is what that sound effect is right there. And then the more points you earn, the more entries you have into the giveaway. So if you have to start now, because the more points you get, the more entries you get. Super easy. And now I'm going to hand it over to you guys. So first of all, do you guys have any new exciting projects or content you're working on that you can reveal?
Nothing new that we can't, like, I mean, if anything is, so yeah, I think the latest and greatest right now is the 50 series from, you know, a gaming perspective. So, yeah, anything always down to entry level to 5090. You can check us out, you know, just, yeah, PNY.com/gaming. We're on Amazon as well, just like you. So, yeah, just look us up, and hopefully, you know, PNY will be powering your next PC.
Yeah. And also to add on to that too, like some of the next upcoming content, I know that we, of course, plugging TwitchCon, that's going to be the biggest activation that we have planning right now. Events, we're always looking to do more, show up at different events, participate in different ways. So definitely make sure you guys come out and see us at TwitchCon. Again, cool activations, checking out the booth. We're going to be doing some like smaller giveaways at the booth too. Of course, some swag, some raffles, all that fun stuff. Yeah, I mean, of course, holidays are coming up, so definitely keep a lookout for everything that we post on socials, as well as, of course, if you're in the market for all of our different products, definitely keep an eye out for what we have going on. Yeah, we're gonna continue to kind of keep pushing throughout the year. So, kind of reiterating exactly kind of what Derek said, but yeah.
And everyone should follow at PNYTechGaming on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, and most importantly, PNY Technologies on LinkedIn. That's my favorite social media you guys have. Because that's like, you actually guys do a pretty good job on LinkedIn, to be honest. We got to step up our LinkedIn game, Mike. We don't do enough on there.
We'll do it.
Yeah, that was like one of the focus, because everything is like Instagram, X, and all of those, but it's just PNY has such a large portfolio of products. It's like, how do we show love to all of those products but not make it overwhelming? And then also, I mean, it's kind of just add in here too, it's like, we're not only just, we don't just sell the product, like we're actual users of our products. So like, for anyone new out there, if you haven't, like, even if you're not following us, like if you haven't come across our content, I would just encourage you to go look at it. It's definitely inspiring to see, like, outside of just, we can say, oh, go buy PNY and all that, but like actually we're users of it, and to see like the Unreal Engine Studio and all the different creative ways you can utilize a graphics card is cool. And yeah, we try to show that out on LinkedIn as well across the board.
Awesome. So like we reiterated, TwitchCon, huge thing you guys are going to. Yes. Booth 2800, correct, for the thing?
Yes.
So go check them out at TwitchCon, and if you're there, you can also get a special secret word that gives you 500 extra entries into the giveaway. So if you're there, you know, it's worth it. For those that can't get there, no worries, you're still entering into the giveaway. It's just those at TwitchCon get a little special treat because you're there. Before we end it off, do you guys have any final thoughts or messages you'd like to share with the audience?
I mean, I can start. I mean, again, thank you guys so much for having us. It's really cool to get a chance to do partner activations like this, and where we're going to events, showing off different products, you know, doing collaborative builds. And again, we have a lot when it comes to the pipeline of content. Ideally, again, when we have these two builds that we're gonna be showing off the demos at TwitchCon, we're going to definitely be showing them much more in terms of content, B-roll, pictures, all this cool stuff. So definitely keep an eye out on our socials and everything that we have going on, because we're going to be doing a lot of build installs, how to's, everything, whether it comes to the hardware side as well as software too, because I know we have Velocity X in where you can control your RGB, your overclocking, etc. So there's a lot that we have in the tank, and we're really excited to share with you guys. And again, thank you for hosting us so that we can talk about it all.
Yeah, and just back that up too, like everything Jerome said, and also just thanks for having us. Ivan and I, like, we go way back, and like I guess here just live too, just really thank you, and even just NZXT as a whole, like the spearhead, just me personally, like to push me to do these builds that I did, and actually believed in me as just like a random builder out there on the internet, and to grow community personally myself, and then get into this industry. And it is like this here is just full circle, and kind of, again, like what you said, just put your mind to it. If you really want it, you'll make it happen. Go get it. And that's it. Appreciate y'all.
If I could go back in time, I think my advice would be just do the opposite of what you want to do, and then that's what you should be doing. Because I feel like the human mind always wants to do like what's easy and simple and quick and all this, but if you just say like, all right, I'll do the opposite of that, then you end up where Derek and Jerome are today. Yeah. So thank you guys for joining us on the podcast. Thank you for allowing us to be at the TwitchCon booth with you, and thank you everyone who tuned in live today.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah, so thank Jerome, thank you Derek for joining us, and thank you the audience for tuning in and talking with us about the awesome giveaways and stuff that is happening. Make sure to visit them at TwitchCon at booth 2800. So remember, tune in live on Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the official NZXT Twitch. And don't forget to listen to previous episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and SoundCloud. If you have any questions for us, you can email podcast@nzxt.com or tag @NZXT on all social media platforms. Thank you, Derek and Jerome. And thank you, everyone. And have a very safe weekend, everyone.
Thank you. Take care.
Take care, everyone.